মই আজি উদয় শংকৰ শৰ্মাই আপোনালোক সকলোকে মোৰ চেনেল উদয়'চ প্লেটফৰ্মলৈ স্বাগতম জনাইছো। আজি মই আপোনালোকৰ আগত এনে এজন ব্যক্তিক পৰিচয় কৰাই দিবলৈ ওলাইছো, এনে এগৰাকী মহিলাক পৰিচয় কৰাই দিবলৈ ওলাইছো, যি সমগ্ৰ সৰু কালছোৱা তেখেতে যোৰহাটত পাৰ কৰিছিলে। ইয়াতে তেখেতে শিক্ষা গ্ৰহণ কৰিছিলে। ক'ত তেখেতে শিক্ষা গ্ৰহণ কৰিছিলে আমি আপোনালোকক সময়ত কৈ যাম। তেখেত হ'ল যোৰহাটৰ বিশিষ্ট, খুব সুন্দৰ ভাল মানৱ সেৱা তেখেতৰ ধৰ্ম আছিল। তেখেত হ'ল ডক্টৰ কে.ভি. ডকচন। কে.ভি. ডকচন মিছন হস্পিটেলৰ, যোৰহাট মিছন হস্পিটেলৰ ডক্টৰ চাৰ্জন আছিল। তেখেতৰে ডাঙৰ ছোৱালী আমাৰ মাজত কিম ডকচন উপস্থিত আছে। তেখেতক আমি দুই এটা প্ৰশ্ন কৰিম। So, ma'am, welcome back to Jorhat.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back to Jorhat. I am going to introduce her. She is Kim Dodgson. She is elder daughter of the renowned, most popular at that particular time, long back. It's around 1957. He was the former doctor surgeon of Jorhat Mission Hospital, K.V. Dodgson, sir. And fortunately, she was my school senior. It's a lot of things we have share with each other.
Right.
So, ma'am, again, heartiest most welcome
Thank
to
you.
our place, Jorhat.
Thank you.
So, how did you feel? How did you feel to be back in Jorhat after many years and just sharing your experience and so many stories
That's right.
you have spent here in Jorhat?
That's right.
Just share with us, please.
So I'm very happy to be back in my what I feel is my home,
Yeah.
even though I was absent for 45 years.
So you came.
But I lived.
Last you came. It's around in '99, I think.
I came. No, my sister has returned since then. But I was only here in last year in 1979.
Okay.
And at that time, my youngest sister
Yeah.
was graduating from Woodstock School in Missouri.
Okay.
So my sister Catherine I came from the USA
Okay.
to attend her graduation.
Okay. I mean, you come after 45 years.
That's right.
After 45 years, you come to
So
again.
because we were in Missouri for the graduation, we then came together, my sister and I, to our home
Okay.
in Jorhat Mission Hospital.
Okay.
My parents were still living there. My father was still working as a surgeon
Okay.
in 1979. And we spent some time back home then.
Okay.
And that was delightful. I was so happy to be back.
Okay.
But now it's been even longer.
Oh, ma'am, for that particular time, you have already mentioned that in your childhood time, what was the roads, communication, and like people, buildings, and I think vehicles. You just share something about that. It was very interesting.
Well, what I remember
Yeah,
was very few cars in Jorhat,
Yeah.
especially foreign cars.
Okay.
Somehow the hospital had acquired a Land Rover Jeep and a Wagoneer.
Wagoner. Okay.
Okay. And those two cars were used by the hospital.
Yeah.
And they were parked in our garage of the bungalow.
Okay.
And from time to time, then the vehicles were used for hospital business. But
Yeah.
my mother and father also used the cars that were there.
So you have the ambassador car?
I don't remember.
So someone told me.
There was an ambassador, I think, maybe at the missionary nurses bungalow,
Okay.
as I recall. We traveled mostly in my memory, it was more the Jeep,
Zip.
Land Rover Jeep,
Land Rover.
and we would bounce along the roads to Guwahati, many flat tires.
Yeah.
The roads were very rough. But we would use the later years, we used the wagoners, more station wagon. And that was my mother's transportation back and forth to the bazaar. But most of the time, we, my sisters and I, in later years, rode by cycle rickshaw back and forth. We rode our own bicycle.
You mentioned the word bazaar.
Yes.
Bazaar.
Yeah.
It's a totally Assamese term. Very interesting conversation is going on. So, ma'am said, little bit he has, in his memory.
Yeah.
So, Assamese word bazaar, because he spent his childhood time here in Assam, Jorhat.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, it's a very interesting question.
Mhm.
So, I think you have started your school education first in Jorhat, is it?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
that was bilingual.
Yes, that was my main school. I also first attended the small school on the Mission
Campus.
Hospital campus.
Campus, okay.
It's still there, the YWCA school. That was my first memory of school.
Okay.
I remember mostly 2 rooms. My friends and I would sit on the mats on the floor. And I remember using the slate and the chalk.
Sure.
And writing and practicing Assamese and numbers.
Yes.
And I learned my eke dui tini.
Eke dui
Sari.
Still, you can remember.
And
Eke dui.
simple, very.
Again, you just.
Oh, just
What?
eke dui tini sari. We used to sing it.
Yeah.
And but I have pictures of myself in the uniform of Balya Bhavan. Baila Bhavan. And that's my also very big memory of going to that.
How long you have been there in Baila Bhavan?
I think 3 years.
3 years.
It might be 3 years, if not 2. But I think 3, but I'm not sure.
Deepika ma'am also accompanied with you at that particular time. Deepika ma'am, Bhoni.
Yes, my dear friend Connie. And
she was also in.
Yes, my mother would take a small group of children from the Mission Hospital campus.
So I have heard yesterday, your mother, sometimes he had taken the classes in Baila Bhavan, English. Is it?
Do
you remember that?
I'm not sure. She was teacher. She was a teacher at ETC. She taught here and at the nurses training school.
So I have heard yesterday that some senior student told me that sometime Dodgson's wife, Kim's mother, had taken the classes in Baila, especially in English class.
It could be. I don't remember that. Could be. But I remember I still have my notebook in Los Angeles.
Right now we have
in Los Angeles.
Okay.
I didn't think to bring it, but I have
very interesting.
I have the notebook.
Baidor logot jetiao Baila Bhavanot pori oha ei copy bilak Baidor osot Baidor preserve kori rakhise. American Los Angeles Baidor grihot. You were living in Los Angeles or New York?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Baidor bottomon Los Angeles bakinda, permanent resident.
And I remember Horu Baido and Bor Baido.
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to ask you.
And I have their writing is in my composition book. With numbers. It's my math book, and I can. Their very neat numbers are there, and then there's a line, and then my writing, my child's writing in pencil is there. So I was studying math. My first math classes were in.
Okay, how many teachers you met at that time in Baila Bhavan? You recall Bor Baido?
I remember Bor Baido and Horu Baido, but I don't remember which teacher was in my class, but those are the 2 I remember.
Because very short time, no?
Yeah,
I mean, so small at the time.
And I remember walking in to the hallway and turning right into my classroom.
Yeah. And do you have any memory at that particular time?
Yes, I have two memories.
Okay, just share with us.
One is a little funny because I was going by myself out of the classroom somewhere.
Okay.
I turned the corner and a boy was coming the opposite way.
Okay.
And I was going fast or he was going fast. Somehow we bumped.
Okay.
And his nose was bleeding.
Okay.
So much. I was so sorry. I felt like my fault,
Big mistake.
Yeah, but I remember that. It stayed with me.
Okay.
The other memory is when my sister, younger sister, wanted to come also to Bailababan.
Okay.
Because I was there. And my mother took us. But she was very small and shy. I thought she would stay with me in the classroom, but Borbaido or somebody, took her to the smaller children's classroom, and I was very fearful for her. So I tried to bring her with me.
Okay.
And the teacher, said no, she has to go her class, and after that, my sister didn't go. She was too small.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed so much.
So many.
I remember one more memory.
Okay.
Should I share it?
Just.
So there was Bonnie and I were at school, and it turns out it was a half.
Excuse me, ma'am. You tell about Bonnie. You just mentioned about Bonnie. Just briefly tell about Bonnie. Where is she now?
Yeah. Bonnie, Deepika, she was my closest friend.
Deepika.
And we played together all the time, very close, like sisters. And her father worked at the mission hospital, and her mother took me like another daughter, and we played a lot of times together. So we were in school also at Bailababan, and now she's in Guwahati, and I just saw her this few days ago. Yeah. Now she's running a school.
Yeah.
So I'm also a teacher, a retired teacher from Los Angeles. So our friendship was formed, on the mission compound of the hospital, but we spent many times together at school, and now she's running a school and I'm a teacher. And I said to her many years ago, when she came to the United States one time, I saw her some years back, the first time I saw her after many years, since 79. And she said, please come to her school in Guwahati. I said, someday I will come. And so now I did. And I was so happy to visit her school.
Okay,
so anyway, back to our memory when we were very small. I have pictures of those days.
I'll collect.
We were at school and it was half day. Maybe the teachers had a meeting or something, but they dismissed half day early. And my mother either forgot or didn't know. So she didn't come to pick us up. And Honey and I were sitting, waiting.
Yeah.
And by the steps of the school.
Veranda.
And we decided, why not? We'll walk home to the mission hospital. So, we just, without telling the teachers, we just got up with our bag and we walked out the gate to the street. And we went a few steps, and then so many cows were coming.
Yeah.
All the street was filled with cows, and we got scared of the cows, and we ran back to school, and then we stayed till my mother came. But I still remember that.
Actually, Woodfall has told me in between our conversation.
Yeah.
So I would like to mention two names.
Mm.
Dr. Utpal Bora my classmate at Bailabapan, Professor IIT Guwahati. And another person, Dr. Sajid Barua, Assam Agriculture University. This meeting is possible. It would not have been possible without their cooperation and support.
That's great.
So thank you so much, Dr. Utpal Bora, my friend,
Yes.
and Dr. Sajid Bora. Thank you so much. So, ma'am, my next question I'm going to ask you that your father, Dr. K.B. Dodgson, was widely known, reputed, and admired beyond Jorhat and Jorhat too. So, how did it feel growing up as a daughter of such a beloved doctor?
Well, I probably didn't realize very early how special my parents were. But as I grew older, I came to realize their love for this community. And I think that love for the community and the desire to learn about Assamese culture, especially my mother, wanting to learn more about India and Assam in particular. She grew to appreciate and love everything in Assam. And my father, likewise, but he was very busy in the hospital. And it was very clear to me that he was cared about, that he cared for the community. So I think it worked both ways, that he received the love of the community. But I used to go to the hospital for, since I was very small. The earliest time I remember taking lemonade, lemon water from my mother to my father for refreshment. I was very little, and I would go to his office, and I actually remember opening the door to the operating room, and he's in his mask under the light, and you say, "Hello, Kimmy," and I would say, "Hello," and I have your lemonade, and he said, "Thank you," and I leave it there and go. So I developed a relationship with the hospital, and that became a kind of a second home. So when I was, I'm getting to your question about how did it feel. I became. I wanted to help, like my father. I wanted to help in the hospital when I was 9, 10 years old. So the missionary nurses, Miss Townsend and Miss Gaida, made me a white coat, like a doctor's coat, a white coat. And my sisters and I had prepared a box of toys for the children's ward. And we kept the box with a lock in the side of the children's ward. And every day at 1 o'clock, when the hospital gong, struck 1, I would go with my key. I had a key, and I would go to the children's ward and open the box and play games, puzzles, toys with the children. And I became familiar with the nurses, the doctors, and some of the children who were there for a long time, burn victims, or so many broken bones. And they became my friends, and the nurses were like family. And I would see my father working among them, and so I came to appreciate that my father was part of an organization that was devoted to helping other people who need help. So that I felt privileged to know my father as a healer, that he could help people. Many times people would come to the bungalow and thank him. I'm sure other doctors were doing the same thing, but it became very clear that he was respected, and I was proud of that. And I came to appreciate, and in a humble way, the the beauty of being able to grow up in a community that helped each other. That it was so. My father was like a healer.
Another thing is very interesting thing. There was a belief. There was a belief that even your fathers could touch a patient,
Oh.
you know, yeah,
Oh.
well, could touch it, cure the patients.
Wow. Well, I don't
So
know.
what is your perception?
I don't know about that, but I will say that
So my father, he actually, he has already passed away. He told me that the Dodgson's hands, magical hands,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
if he touches a patient,
Yeah.
there's an automatic
Well,
cure.
I know. That's lovely to hear.
Yeah. So this
I'm sure
contribution.
it didn't happen all the time, but I will say my father's touch was very gentle.
Yeah. So
And-
being a local resident, I have heard from so many people of my place that he was so kind-hearted, very what shall I say? His contribution towards the community, it's a specialist.
Yeah.
Specialist.
Yeah. Well, he felt indebted for the life that we were given, the privilege of working with these wonderful Assamese and Hill
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
The doctors were all. We felt at home all the time, and their expertise was clear. Their care was very. It was just clear that we lived in a community of caring, loving people.
Yes.
And my father, with his gentle ways, influenced me very much.
Yes.
Very much.
Of course.
And he's still the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 90.
Is he all right now?
He's very well.
Okay, he's active. I have heard.
He's active.
Yeah.
He wishes he could be more active. He has a little trouble walking, but he walks, with a walker.
Walker. Okay.
But he's active in church. He's active in the retirement community. He goes to a college class
Is it?
to work.
Oh, what is it? What is his daily routine?
His daily routine. Well, he misses my mother. My mother passed away in 2017.
27. Okay.
And
Good.
so he lives alone, basically alone.
Your mother passed in which year?
2017, if I'm
Okay,
not
27.
wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but he wanted to stay in the house where they lived. It's part of a retirement community.
Yeah.
And there's the independent living, and there's also assisted living, where nurses and helpers can help a little bit more.
Okay.
But right now he's still in his independent living, but he attends the community gatherings.
Okay.
He has many friends in the community, and he sings in a choir.
Yeah.
And he attends church. His daily routine is he will get up, he will make himself some hot drink, like cocoa or something like chocolate.
Yeah. So it's a great pleasure for me.
Yes.
Providing with chocolate.
Yes.
This is for him.
Thank you. He will love that. He will enjoy it.
Okay.
So he has his cocoa. He reads the newspaper.
Okay.
And there's puzzles in the newspaper. Sudoku.
Yes.
He does the puzzles to keep his mind fresh.
Yeah.
He does a lot of reading.
Excellent.
Depending on the day, he will go to a social event at the.
How old he is now?
How old?
Yeah.
He's 98 and a half.
Oh my God, 98.
98.
So we're praying.
So in March, he will be 99, and the family will gather again.
So how many members? Your sisters? How many members? Your brothers, sisters?
So we're 3 sisters.
Okay.
And we.
You were the eldest.
I'm the eldest.
Yeah.
So there's. My husband and I have 2 children.
Okay.
And so they will be coming to celebrate with my father 99 years. My middle sister, Catherine Kitt, has a son and his wife.
Okay.
and he lives in New York.
Okay.
His wife.
And-
My youngest sister,
yeah.
Carol, has 2 daughters.
Okay,
and
nice.
they're married.
Okay.
So I forgot to count, but
okay, no problem.
not a big family,
yeah,
but very close, very close family. The cousins enjoy each other.
Okay, that's great. That's great, man. Ma'am, I have heard from Utpal and Sajida, you are doing a great thing. You are doing a research on our local traditional Sorai.
Yes.
So my question is that there are so many traditional things like, gamsa, japi,
Yes.
so the musical instrument, khol, dhol.
Yes.
So how did it came to your mind to doing research on Sorai, especially?
Well, I found
So briefly, just
there are many symbols and special cultural items that is peculiar to Assam.
Yeah.
But something about the Sorai, because its shape is so dramatic, it's so unique and so recognizable. The gamosa is a beautiful tradition also. And I realized that the Sorai and the gamosa sometimes have combined.
Yeah.
So I was studying anthropology in college.
Okay.
That was my subject.
Okay.
And we were asked to do research on something, of our choice.
Okay.
I could have chosen anything in the United States. There are many indigenous people. Native Americans who live there. I was very interested in their traditions, but I really wanted to find out more about my first culture, was in Assam. And so I started to look for information about the Sorai and Horai. In those days there was no Google or but I couldn't find many things, except I could read a few things in books that my mother had and that I had also found in the libraries about the Shankardeb and the Shatras and so I started getting more and more interested. And since I knew I was coming to India for my sister's graduation, I said, this is my chance to look and find out more information about this beautiful implement that is used, that seems to me to cross boundaries.
Yes.
Societal boundaries, class boundaries. It appears everywhere.
Yes.
It is used in humble situations, in secular situations. It's used in the temples or in the Namkor, in the Satras. It's used.
So you have visited so many places in Majuli. I think Sortebari you have visited, I think.
Yes, and I had visited Majuli even back then.
Okay.
So I had seen many uses of this beautiful
metal of this particular
the bell metal, there's brass and bell metal. So I searched out a village where they were making the bell metal, and I followed the process. I did my best to communicate with the makers, and I was very interested in the idea that the religious aspect of Sorai, it just has many directions. So sometimes the villagers were including God. God is God all over the world, and the Sorai was such an important, visible and useful item, both secular and religious. I've seen in churches, in the Namkor, and in homes. And I studied about how much I could learn through coming here. I went to Guwahati, to the village, to watch the bell metal maker create some of the plates and the sarai. I went to the Natural History Museum or some museums in Guwahati and talked to experts.
Yeah.
But mostly I was interested in the daily life of anybody in Assam. So I interviewed in some way like this. I interviewed craftsmen, homemakers, young people, old people, agricultural workers, farmers, anyone I could come in contact with. Some were Hindu, some were, I believe, Muslim, some were Christian. I tried to get their knowledge of the Sarai.
Yeah.
And the fascinating thing was they all had something similar to say
Great.
about this beautiful piece of artwork.
Okay. বাইদেউ বহুত ডাঙৰ কথা আমাক কৈ আছে তেখেতে পাৰ্মানেণ্ট আমেৰিকাৰ ৰেচিডেণ্ট আমেৰিকাৰ নিবাসী হৈও আমাৰ অসমৰ বিখ্যাত শৰাইৰ ওপৰত তেখেতে ষ্টাডি কৰি আছে ৰিচাৰ্চ কৰি আছে তেখেতে এই বিষয়ত এই ৰিচাৰ্চ ৱৰ্কটোৰ কাৰণে অসমৰ বিভিন্ন জেগা তেখেতে ঘূৰিছে বিভিন্ন জেগালৈ গৈছে য'ত শৰাইৰ আপোনাৰ প্ৰডাকশ্যন হয় শৰাইবিলাক বনাই আমাৰ সৰ্থেবাৰীৰ নিচিনা জেগা সেইবিলাকলৈ তেখেতে গৈছে কি মেটেৰিয়েলেৰে কি আপোনাৰ মেটেৰিয়েল দি পেলাই শৰাইখন বনোৱা হয় সেইবিলাকৰ ওপৰত তেখেতে ষ্টাডি কৰিছে বিভিন্ন মানুহৰ লগত তেখেতে কথা পাতিছে তেখেতে কৈছে ইভেন তেওঁ আপোনাৰ ৰিক্সাৱালা ঠেলাৱালা সৰ্বসাধাৰণ সমাজৰ সৰ্বসাধাৰণ লোকসকলৰ লগতো শৰাইৰ বিষয়ে কথা পাতিছে তেখেতে চাৰ্চতো পাইছে মছজিদতো শৰাই পাইছে তেখেতে কৈছে যে মুছলিম কমিউনিটিটো দেখিছো খ্ৰীষ্টান কমিউনিটিটো দেখিছো আমাৰ হিন্দু কমিউনিটিটো শৰাই ইউজটো দেখিছে শৰাইৰ ব্যৱহাৰ দেখিছে তেখেত সেইকাৰণে বৰ অত্যন্তভাৱে শৰাইৰ ওপৰত আকৃষ্ট তেখেতে ৱৰ্ল্ড ৱাইড এই গোটেই বিষয়টো আপোনাৰ পৃথিৱীলৈ বিয়পাই লৈ যাব বিচাৰিছে এই শৰাই ৰিচাৰ্চৰ ওপৰত বেছ কৰি পেলাই তেখেতক এইকাৰণে বহুত ধন্যবাদ জনাইছো so much you are doing a great thing on Sarai.
Yeah.
So my another question is it's a different question. So we are the family of Balawan going to celebrate our Platinum Jubilee. It will start from the coming November 10th.
My goodness.
It's a completely 1-year program.
My goodness.
Platinum Jubilee. So, ma'am, you should say something to our family of Balawan. We're going to celebrate.
Oh, Baila Bhavan.
Yeah.
Namaskar to all of you at the school. That was my first experience with a large number of students in Assamese. I was fluent in Assamese because all of my friends spoke Assamese, and my first years in India were from 15 months old until 6 and a half when we went back to the United States. During those 6 years, I became fluent in Assamese. And I'm sorry that because of the years living in the United States, I had forgotten, except for some words. I can understand a little, but I still have my composition book. I have shown my own students
That is
what
great.
it was
That
like.
is great thing.
And I was teaching for 34 years, children from class 6 down to class 1. And every year we studied a little bit about my culture because my students came from many cultures, all Mexico, Armenia, Korea, many cultures. So I shared with them my love of India and Assam. I even gave them pages of Assamese numbers.
Yeah. Wow.
And I had them practice their math in Assamese.
Okay.
And just to share that all over the world, some things are the same.
Yeah.
And because many great inventions came from India, I wanted them to know.
Yes.
So I used my memories and knowledge of Baila Bhavan and being in Assam to share with my students in America
That's great. That's great,
So
ma'am. Thank you so much. Very carefully you preserved all copies,
Yes,
and notes
yes.
in your home
I
at
have,
Los
I have,
Angeles.
and I have photographs. Yeah. So I just want to say thank you so much for the experience
Yeah.
and the privilege of living in this beautiful state and town of Jorhat.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So thank you, Mr. Very nice talking to ma'am. So many things to talk. So many. So we have now conclude our conversation because shortage of time.
Yes.
So ma'am has very busy schedule here in Jorhat and other sites. So many people are so many people are waiting to meet her, and he has another fixed schedule to visit Bailabon, isn't it? So, ma'am, thank you so much for giving us your valuable time. So, praying for your good health and doctors, Dodgson, sir. So, our warm wishes and God bless him and God bless your family. Next time, we are eagerly waiting for your next visit.
Thank you.
Next visit.
I hope
So a lot of things to complete talk share in the future time. So
and my father will be very, very pleased that I am here and meeting you. And I'm sure he would want to give you his regards and blessing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Until then,
Until
goodbye. Have a nice day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.